Welcome to DesignCAD 3D Max video tutorial on drawing lines. So I don't work for DesignCAD. I don't get anything from them, but I've been using it for probably more than 20 years and I love it. It's cheap and it does just about everything. Not everything as well as AutoCAD, but almost all the stuff you use on a regular basis for drawing does better. There's options it doesn't have. So I'm going to go through and just show most of the drawing commands. I would mostly take stuff and draw it here and then import it as a DXF or export it as a DXF and then open it up in AutoCAD if I had to do some of the stuff that AutoCAD does. So anyways, let's hit the line command. So typically you're going to hit V and left click it just where you want it to point. Let's say you want to hit it, let's see, I know there's some nodes on this text. I would right click, it'll go to the middle. Enter. If you hit that, you can see where it just collect to. Right click it again. If I hover over it, no, this one. You can right click or left click on as soon as it turns into that bullseye, and I can left click and right click to gravity snap. The gravity snap, you turned it on and off by going options to options, or you can hit the hotkey quick Q. So general, here it says enable right click pop-up menu, so you can do like AutoCAD and you can see your right click will bring up the menu. I don't like it. So let's do this. Let's go, that's your V. So if you're in V and you go up and down, right, anywhere you want, and then you hit H, it turns on ortho mode, and then you'll be in ortho mode, and if you hit H again, it just turns it off. But you're still in the same polyline. That's kind of useful. If you don't like the way that shows up, you want it darker, you can go into here, the line command right there, the line scale width, and it shows up as different. It's the same line, just shows up different, like paper space, line weight. It'll show you the paper weight. And then, okay, and if you hit apply, it'll apply to that line. Let's say you want to add a point. There's K, like that. It'll bring you and just connect to the closest spot. Control K will actually go in there and separate the line. If you hit B, it rejoins the line, so now it's a polyline again. So if you want to add a spot to the middle without hitting B, you hit Control K and then grab the line, right, and then right click and it'll snap there, and then you have the you got the middle of that line without breaking the line. So ortho, let's go H. Ortho is pretty easy this way down, and then you want to end it at the same length as that one, or same vertical line. That does it like that. So you want to make it to the middle of that. Control K, and it'll be in the middle of that line. It's the same length, and then you can hit Shift minus. I think that's what I just did. Shift minus, and that allows you to stretch that line, lengthen or shorten the line. If you want to, let's say you want to trim it to this line, you hit E, and it'll trim to that line. If it was running past, you hit E, and you can trim it like that. E, hit the line here. And then if you hit E, you can see trim shorter end or pick segments. I like pick segments better. Let's see, delete. It's a little funny if you have a line like this and the line is overlapping. Let's say like that, so that this way it's a polyline, but it knows that there's a second line segment there. Hit trim like that, and it trimmed only the one piece, right? It just acts a little differently that way, from AutoCAD, same way. V, let's say we're in H, and H like this, and we want to end it in line with this one. Like AutoCAD's nice, it has a hover command and then it'll drag. Here you have to turn the H off, hit JS till you want it the same direction as that, and then you can right click to it and it'll just make it that way. Alright, so it's a little tricky. There's a point control, midpoint 2 you can use. Sometimes I don't find it that reliable. There you go, there's that. And then let's say hit the, so sometimes you get clogged up, V, and you'll see when it does, Control R will refresh the screen in case you get a bunch of junk, especially when you're doing arrays like a draw array, control. Sometimes you get ghosts on the screen. It's hard to do, but when it happens a lot, Control R will refresh your screen. How about did a little bit of Control Shift V H. Shift will keep you in a horizontal. Hit H will hit you in the. But if you have it on and you want to just stay in the horizontal or the vertical, horizontal or vertical, Control will hold you vertical. If you want to release it on something that's up there, like a comma, hold Shift and you hold it out there. If you hit left click, it's going to go down to the same elevation as your original point. So you just hit Insert and then it'll lock it in and put it there. Versus like this, comma, hold Shift, and if I hit left click, it takes me horizontal from the origin. Right? How about cursor? So we have options to do cursor steps. This is kind of nice. I don't think AutoCAD has this. I don't use it all that much, but large step is 1, small step is 1/10. Hit OK. And if I go V, and then some little tricky, sometimes you're not sure if when you let go of the mouse to get to your cursor and maybe it moved off, so hit comma and then cursor steps 1, 2, 3, insert, hold Shift 1, 2, 3, insert, and then it'll give you 3 long and 3/10 high. Alright, that's cursor step. There's grid, you can turn it on by V, and you can hit G and it'll turn the grid on. If that starts acting funny, you don't know why. It's because the grid just turned on. Q will do your grid settings. Right, there's all your grid settings. You can turn it on and off. Just display if you want to see it. V, and then G will just turn the grid snaps off. Snaps to the grid. V, let's say point relative. You can snap everything from the last point relative. So 5 by 5. Tab 5, enter. That's 5 and 5, right? One of the nice things that AutoCAD has is dimensioning. It's a little nicer. Does everything that the AutoCAD does, but AutoCAD is a little nicer for the dimensions. And then let's see. So there's relative V. Relative to the origin, let's say I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I could hit point relative and then hit from the last cursor position 5 and 5. It'll do enter. Thought I just did V. Point relative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point relative to that from last cursor position. Okay. Oh, it's not doing. That's weird, man. That was really kind of weird. So I guess it's not if you're in the middle of a command, the point relative goes back to the original spot. So if, let's say Control K, escape, and then I'll hold it down there, and then point relative from the last cursor position, enter. It'll do it from the last cursor position. But if you're in the middle of a command, it doesn't. Don't use that too much. V, point relative, and then you have a reference point. Okay. It's whatever point you're on. So if, let's say I'm in the middle of a command and I want it to be 5 and 5 from there, and I don't want to break my command, just hit the comma, point relative, reference point. That's how I set it, like that. Little haven't used that much. When you know they exist and you start learning, when you know those exist, you could probably use them more. I've been using it not without that for a long time. So there's the comma and a period. V, comma will just get you on that point. You won't set the point. V, period will set the point. All right. Use that a lot. And then point polar V. How about we go So you want 30 degrees and 10 let's say 10 long distance. You hit the point polar, which is the apostrophe second over from your enter key. So 10 and 30. That'd be 10 distance of 10 and 30 angle. And this, oddly enough, goes to geographical or mathematical, which ones you got it set. So custom JC, if you hit 30, it'll be mathematical. It's always mathematical when you hit custom angle. V, J, let's go to point polar, V, point polar. So it's 30 degrees, but it's using the geographical because I got GQ, general. Q is in geographical. If you set it to mathematical, apply, okay. V, and then we had point polar, distance of 10, 30, enter, it'll be in kind of weird. V, point polar, 30. That's better. Yeah. All right. So take it into 30 degrees from the mathematical, which is 0 is the origin. H, enter, Alt MA. There's your angle. All right. That's why I was in geographical, because I was doing the coordinates traverse. So we got point polar, custom V. How about VJC? So let's say I want 30 degrees. I can put in 30, or I can go arctangent, A10. Actually, I don't know what the arctangent of 30 is. I know what the sign, A sign. Open parentheses, 0.5. Backspace, 0.5. 0.5. Close parenthesis. That'll give me 30 degrees. Or just telling you, so you can actually go in there and actually do calculations. Alt MA. It's weird. Why does it snap into that? Oh, it's an H. Ortho mode. All right, so you can do calculations right in there. Same with distance. Let's say you got some stairs. H, point relative 11, and tab 7. It's going to go like that. That's an ortho. J, let's see. V, let's draw a line 11 and 0. What the hell is going on, V? So always reset, so move cursor without setting point, reference point, last point. And then point relative, tab, let's get rid of this 0 and 7, enter. So this is some of the stuff you go through if you're drawing stairs, right? You got to set those all right. So you got to kind of go through a lot of steps. So you could just go J and then hit 11, 7 and get your diagonal, enter, and then you could array that, draw array. And you could go, say 5 treads, so 5 diagonals, 1 row. It's real easy, you just go bam like that. And then it'll give you each individual segment, right? All right, you can see them, or you can do like we just did there. You draw it, V. But you can also do, let's say you don't know, you know the treads and you're not interested in drawing the tread, you can go point polar. But point polar, you need to know the diagonal, the distance, right? So you can go square root, open parentheses, 7 squared plus 11 squared, close parenthesis, and it'll get you, and you want the angle A10, 7 divided by 11, enter, and that'll give you the 1, or you can do this, V, point polar, we did just like that, except for we want the distance times, let's say 5 treads, enter, and then you'll see that's where your stuff lands. It just doesn't give you the breaks in the middle, right? But it does give you the whole. So that's exactly on the line. It gives you the whole thing. Sometimes doing the calculations, you'll get errors because you're rounding off because you're actually doing calculations. So sometimes drawing is better. But anyways, it's kind of nice. You can actually do dimensions and add calculations inside the point relative. You can do it right. 11 plus 15. Tab 0 and it just gives you the 22. It's kind of nice. Or 26, 11 plus 15. What the hell did I just do? V. I thought I did 11 plus 15. 11 plus, oh yeah, 15. 26. Enter. All right. So let's do this. You can actually go in here and you can do stretch. You can stretch that like that. So it's a way to manipulate. Let's say delete. Let's say you have a draw, control line, V. Draw, where's my control line? Draw, line, control, curve, enter. So there's your V. There's your control line, and then there's your control curve. You can stretch that parabola and do stuff with it to see, make it fit. So anyways, just remains a parabola. Alright, so that's a stretch command. Sometimes you're doing stuff, V. Typically I'll be drawing in point mode, because then it gives me more options to manage the lines, you know. And then sometimes you want it in there. So, let's see, have a server and you want an ellipse. You can just take that and squash it down. It's getting out away from lines, getting into curves. Let's go draw. Let's see, how about custom angle? Let's do point mark. So I can do stuff with this points and this line, right? So here, V. JS, I'm just going to click on that line. It'll be the same angle as that line. I can go JD, distance, and tell it 10 long, and it'll be and then I have to hit it to tell it I want it to be. You can't just exit, enter, and then you have to tell it. You have to hit your cursor on the screen to get it to set the point. V, JAA, it's going to be 90 degrees. Let's say 90 degrees. It'll be perpendicular to that line. All right. V, how about JP? You want that same line, you just want it from where you started. It just does that, but you have to hit the enter. You have to hit the cursor for it to be, and then that line is exactly the same as that line. Or you could just draw the line and copy it and paste it, but I like to use the P. JP will just copy that exact line over where you're starting your V, wherever you're starting from. Let's say you're from there. JP, just basically creating a copy of that line. V, how about JN? It'll give me 30, let's say 30 degrees, and we're in mathematical, so it's going to go counterclockwise to that line. And I hit that, and it just gives me a line relative to that line. Right, so if I wanted the same length, let's say J, V, let's say right there, J, T will just give me the same distance as those 2 points, right? It creates a line segment that's the same as those. Enter V, and this line is 38.43, and the same as that, right? So I hit JT, and it creates a line that's the same. If you want V, J, T, we did alright, D, it does set the distance to that, right? So if you just want that distance now, it does set the distance. So we can say okay, right? And then J, S, right? I'm sorry, let's go V, J, S, I want the same angle as that. And then JD, it already knows, it does remember that distance. So it does the same distance at that whatever line you're trying to create. So it sets the distance is what I'm trying to say. So V, J, D is how you get the custom distance. And let's see, so we have point polar customs. Let's go Mangala, JP, JT, any more I can think of. JS, JP, JT, JN. I think that's pretty much it. The ones that I use anyway. How about perpendicular to and from a line? I use, I typically would just go V. How about Control K, J, A, enter. Let's say I wanted it 90 degrees. I'll go 90 from this line, select the line, and then I would go J, 10, right? Sorry, that's not what I would do. I'll go Control K, J, A, enter, away, JD, 10, right? That was how I would get it 10 away, but they have one in here that does that. It's J, right here. Tell it 10, or let's say 12. V, I don't know, let's see. Distance away, it's on 12, it just comes out 12. And then the other one is perpendicular to a line. I don't really like these because you have to start the command. This one's to a line, so no matter where you are out here, it'll be perpendicular to that line. And then let's see, so perpendicular to and from a line, parallel, we have, you can hit equal and just come out with the distance that you want by dragging it. Let's say delete, let's say I had a point out here. And you want to do a perpendicular to that point, a parallel distance by that point, just drag it, snap it to that. Or you can do parallel by distance. Delete. We could go parallel by distance. I'd say 36 divided by 3. 36 divided by 3. Give you a 10, 12 offset, right? That's how you can do that. It's nice because you can put it right in there. I never figured out how to do that with AutoCAD. You go to apostrophe calc and then you got to copy it and paste it. Just kind of cumbersome, not very efficient. And then let's see what else we got. How about you want to break that line into draw? You can go tick mark. You can break it into long tick mark of 5, short tick mark of 1. And I want 4 sections, right? Where's my short ones? Try that again. Control Z, F3 will bring up the last command. 4 tick marks, divisions of 4, large tick mark of 5 and 1. So you can create like a tape measure, tape rule, so you can see the different segments in there. And then let's see, V. Angle constraint mode. We could do options. You can turn on angle constraint mode, good for drawing orthographics. Set angle, basically set it. Okay, apply. And then you're going to do, it's going to hold you in the angle constraint mode. JD, go a distance of 22, enter, and that'll create your ortho, right? 22. It's right there like that. Weird when you're doing the ortho constraints and you want to do dimensions, you kind of want to do the dimensions after you turn on ortho constraints off. And then you go to ortho constraints, options, ortho constraints, and then release active constraints, close and apply changes. And then it's a little tricky turning it on and off if you don't hit that close properly. All right, Control Z, let's just get out of there. How about double line mode would be good. Tools, let's say you go, just open up the double line bar, and then you go to options, tools, options, double line mode, right? Now you're in double line mode. So if you hit V, right here you can set the, let's make it 1. Enter. I made it 10.5. I meant to make it, let's make it 2. So it'll change while you're in the middle, which is kind of nice. Enter. And then if you, let's say you've done all your lines and stuff, and then hit this point select mode. Now it's going to do V. It's going to, you want to snap to this, let's turn double line mode off. If you want to snap to that, it's going to snap to your, only to the nodes, right? So right align, left align, center line, those are the options, right? But now, let's say I'm done the drawing. Typically you're going to draw, like, let's say you're drawing a wall. V, center line, options, double line mode. So you're working everything in centers, right? H. Right, you're done with that. But then now, if you snap to that, if you want to start drawing, let's say turn off the double line mode, V, and you want to snap to something, it's going to snap to the center of those, right? So you go, let's say, click on it, go to edit, selection edit, convert, vector convert. You know, you can just use the hot, I make my own there. I'll show you that in a minute too, but now it'll set it's a vector lines, right? Let's say, see my draw, tools, let's go to options. You can just hit Q, and then you can go to toolbox, and then you can create custom toolboxes here. So you can do an ISO toolbox, custom, put whatever ones you want in there, and then anyways, that's how you create a new toolbox. And we hit pretty good tangent to a line. I think would be good like that. So it's got O. The letter O is the hotkey for circle. Then you go V. You can turn on nodes, point, quadrant snap. It'll snap to the nodes, right? Which is not a tangent. Options. Point, quadrant snap. So that's quadrant to quadrant. Enter, right? Or you can do tangents like this. So draw. Let's just go here. There's a way to get it here. There's your tangent options. Or you can also go to point, tangent snap. So if I have my command on, say I'm drawing like this, and I want to do tangent, I can go here, point, tangent, tangent to a circle. So it seems to me like there was a way to do it in the middle. V, J, let's see, go V, I don't think it is, maybe J, tangent, no, I think you gotta go to the menu here, start the command, V, point, tangent snap, yeah. This tangent snap should turn it on. Draw. Yeah, tangent snap. So you can do it in the middle of a thing, right? So from there, draw, point, tangent snap, turns the tangent snaps on, right? Or you can go in here, but this one starts, let's say if you're starting in your middle of a command, you'll have to break the command and do in here, hold that down, go to point there, it just, you have to restart your tangent line, your line command. Kind of the way that works, tangent to it. Right here you have also tangent between two, right? Then there's another one to tangent to a line, tangent from a circle, so I can go from this circle to that point right there, whatever the point is. And if I, let's say like this. Okay. And I want from that point tangent away. I would hit that tangent the way we just did. Right click on that and it just drags the tangent line away from there. And then shift minus will give you lengthen or shorten that, right? If you wanted to do it lengthen, shorten, and right click it, it'd be tangent to that, V, enter, Alt MA. Should be 90 degrees, right? Alright, so tangents in there. You got slopes. If you got slopes gradient, let's say V, you want to do a 20% grade, go point polar, you could do either one. JC, how about JC? A10, 0.2, close parenthesis, and then there's your 20%, enter. So V, J10, not J, but apostrophe, last point 10, enter, and then H, that should be 2, right? 20%. So control line in here too. Let's do this. Delete V, enter, and you want a control line. So you go draw line. Control curve is what control curve, but that's your control line for that parabola. And then no matter where it goes from like that, when you stretch it, it's still a parabola. All right. Control Z. About draw. About something, kind of a couple things that we didn't do. V. All right, you can trim it, hit E, and that'll trim it to that line. If it was short like that, and you wanted to trim it to that line, hit E and then hit the line. That's kind of a useful, very useful thing that happens with lines a lot. Because let's say you have a triangle, or V, enter V, and you want to start from the center of gravity to the centroid point, center of gravity, and as you hover over the lines, it'll hit the center of gravity. Enter, so V, Control K, V, Control K, V, Control K. So you hit your centroid like that. Kind of useful sometimes, especially when you're doing some quick rigging drawings. And let's see, plane. Let's say you have a, let's go to 3D for a second. Show you a couple things in 3D. Let's go. And then comma, I'm going to drag this away. I'm going to go up and over. I'm going to go out here. Drag it in, let's say like that. Then I'm going to hit shade so I can see what's going on with that, see how it intersects or how they tie into each other. And then let's say you have V from there to there, right? And then get rid of that. And then I'm going to put it in shade. Okay. Oh, because it's in GDI. Open GL. That'll work. Now you can see where that is at, but I can't really snap to it, right? If I try to snap anywhere, so I can go V, point, intersect, line plane, right? Line, snap, line, plane. I think that's it, yeah. And then no, it's just snapping to the plane. V, point, I think it's called line plane, yeah, line plane, there you go. It'll snap to that point, right? Tell it the line that I want, and then H, K, enter. So that snaps exactly to the line. So if you do this, dimension, the view, how about that? Okay, OpenGL, just regular. Okay, so that knows that you know that that's in that line. And you can trim it in CH, it trims it to the line. That's it. And then, I don't know, there's contour lines. Maybe I could draw quick little contour lines. How about that? See. Okay. Okay. Keep hitting the wrong one. C, K. Okay. I don't know if this is coming out anywhere close to. So you want to set the origin for the view. Okay. And then you can sweep around there. So it looks like it's just coming out pretty straightforward, but let's say it's I'm just doing try to knock it out. So C, K, K, enter. And then how about one here? See right there. Get rid of that, and then we go, let's say V, H, so let's see, V, let's do this, enter, get rid of that, and then contour lines, I can draw contour lines with this, draw tick marks. How about, and then draw lines. Contour lines. Oh, because I didn't surface patch that. Draw. Surface connect. How about this one? This one. Enter and create a mesh, and then draw a line. Contour line. So I can put one there. One there, F3. Enter, and then you can see those contour lines. You can see them better here, right? Something went wonky with the contour. I think I did something wrong. Let's see. Yeah, so anyways, I didn't connect those properly. But you have contour lines in there too. And I don't know if there's anything else. Line plane, line intersect. So I think we hit all the line stuff. Let's see what we look like. 40 minutes, but man, I'll tell you what, if you're interested in this program and you can understand that 40 minutes, it's a great potential for a CAD program, especially for just drawing stuff out. And learning, because maybe it might take you 40 hours to learn all those commands in AutoCAD. Well, I hope that helps you in your career or your schoolwork, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.